Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be testing new makeup to create this, in my opinion, gorgeous look. I'm going to be doing some first impressions as well as full-blown reviews for new makeup that I have been testing for literal weeks now. So if you want to sit down, relax, grab yourself a coffee, get ready with me, then let's go ahead and jump into the makeup. Okay, so like usual, we're gonna start with eyes first. I'm trying to use the natural lighting today, so hopefully we'll be able to see well and it'll be friendly to us, but you know, you never know. What I'm gonna do is show you guys the steps where I have the new makeup to try, and then we will skip steps where I don't have new makeup to try. So I'm going to prime my eyes really quickly, and then we'll be back with the eye product. So the first two eye products I have that we're going to play around with are the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize. These were available, I think it was last year, and then she discontinued them and then brought them back this year for holiday, so I jumped right on it. This shade here is Diamond Eyes. And then this shade here is Cosmic Rocks, which I don't know if you guys can see that flip. Yeah, look at that. That green to purpley blue. Absolutely stunning. This isn't even like a shade that I would wear all the time, but I couldn't even not get it. So I'm gonna use this shade first, and I'm gonna just pop it on the lid. And this does have like a little mirror in it, which is cute and nice. This is my first time trying these. Some of the products in here I've been testing and will be able to include reviews. Some I haven't tried yet, so it'll be first impressions. But how could I not play with this shade first? Oh my goodness. Also, I have my mirror over here, so if you see me looking at that, that's what's going on. But yeah, I think initially that is stunning. I'm hoping that we get some really good lasting power out of this product, considering the price point is crazy. Yeah, we better see some really nice lasting power. Now I went in as far as I could with like my fingers, but I do want to just go in a little bit with like a small fluffy brush here, just to get that inner portion that I couldn't quite reach because of my nails. And I'm barely taking any more product. I'm really just trying to buff and fill that in so it doesn't get too dark in there, because I'm thinking I'm gonna use the other one to give us a pop of color or a brightening effect on that inner corner there. But yes, this was Cosmic Rocks, and so far it is looking stunning. I hope that you guys can like see it as good as I can. I can't really see what you can see because I'm using the back camera, but I'm just fingers crossed, you know, going off vibes. Also, I just realized I didn't put anything on my lips to prime them. Okay, I did that. Don't you guys looking at my dusted and crusted lips. And then I thought that we could go into another newer item. This is from Lethal Cosmetics. They released a whole Avatar collection. This is the water palette, and it is the only one so far I have not used, which is like not surprising to me. This is like the least likely one I think that I would use regardless, but I wanted the whole set because I love Avatar. So I thought we could go into this and build around what we have going on the lid. So since we have this like blue purpley shift, I think it's gonna make the most sense to tap into this deep dark blue here first. So that is what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna pop that on the outer portion and just slowly start to build this up, because it is a very deep pigmented shadow. So I really just want to maintain where I want it, where I want to focus, and then I'm going to use one of these other shades to blend out the edges a bit more. But looking gorgeous. I've tried the other 3 palettes and the formulas are phenomenal. The shimmers are just drool worthy. They're like so wet and shiny on the lid. I haven't had any issues with the blendability or longevity of the mattes, which I also am impressed with. This is my first time like trying Lethal Cosmetics, so I really was like paying close attention to the formula, longevity, all of that stuff that, you know, typically are curious about. Then I'm going to take a very light, fluffy brush that's very like not super dense, and I'm gonna dip into this shade here very lightly and use it just to start blending these edges. And I think that is working really well. Really pretty, meshing in. It's a really nice light blue. It's not overpowering the look, which is good. Perfect for blending out shadows. Yeah, I think that's looking very nice. Very pleased. I was like, man, haven't tried either of these, and I'm gonna play with a dark color story. Who is she? You know? I've been in a pretty neutral phase of my life for a while now, so I was like, well, perfect day to do it. I'm filming this on a Sunday, so I was like, if it's not going well, it's fine. I also thought about doing a halo eye because I was inspired by someone else I was watching, but then I was like, okay, trying new makeup, doing a technique I have not done in literal years. I was like, knock it off, Megan, knock it off. I'm going to clean up the under eyes and then I'll be back. Okay, this isn't new, but I want to demo this for you because I had to pivot a little bit. I clearly have a lot of redness going on today, so I pulled out my Smashbox Anti-Redness primer. And I'm gonna rub this in. As you can see, it's green, but we're gonna rub it in, let it set down, get it in our hair apparently, and give it a minute. And then I'm gonna show you the new primer that I am testing. But I just wanted to showcase this one for you guys in case you're someone who really struggles with that redness piece. I do think that this is a primer that really helps. Okay, so I gave that about 45 seconds to a minute, and can you guys see like the difference in the redness on my face? It's very more calmed down. So now we're gonna go into the new primer that I've been testing, and it is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur. I love this component. The packaging is great. It also has a really fun color tint to it, the primer does, and this is to blur. It has like a really pretty purpley pink tint to it, and I've been using this for like, I don't know, what's it been, probably like a month now, pretty close to since it launched, and I think it does a great job of filling and blurring those pores. I also like the fact that you don't have to wait a long time for this to set down. I find a lot of times with pore blurring primers with this texture, you have to wait a few minutes for it to set down or it's gonna pick up the makeup. I don't have that issue with this, which I love, because in the morning when I'm like trying to get around ready for work at 5:30, I'm not trying to sit here for 5 minutes and be like, okay, I think my primer has set in now. Like, I'm just not trying to do that. So yeah, I have been absolutely loving this, and I just wanted to show you guys it working in real time and what it looks like on the skin. Also, all the products that I demo today will be linked down below if you're wanting to check anything out. Okay, so the next product I'm going to go in with is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation. I have the shade 210B. This has been phenomenal. Honestly, it's so much better than I expected. The packaging is really like solid, that more like firm, hard plastic. The tip looks like this, a nice little squeezy tube. And what I can do is usually just put a little here, put a little here, dot here, dot here, dot here. I have been trying this for like a month now, and honestly, I've been using it pretty nonstop. It's top contender right now for my new Holy Grail foundation. It just, as you can see, it gives a lot of coverage. Yeah, I would say it's full coverage. You don't need a ton of product at all, which is really nice. It means it'll be long lasting. It feels so light on the skin. I know a lot of Huda's products that are full coverage feel heavy on the skin. I've tried her matte foundation, the liquid one, and that was way too heavy for me. I could not wear that. And then I've tried her stick foundation, which I loved because it is super blurring and full coverage, but that one is heavier on the skin. This feels like you're quite literally wearing nothing, but it looks so good. It looks so good. It is, just like it says, it's blurring, full coverage, but still lightweight. I'm just literally so obsessed with you guys. The wear time on it is phenomenal. I wear this to work every day pretty much, and it looks incredible. By the time that I get home, I have no complaints. Like, it is just, it completely knocked my socks off. It really just, ouch, exceeded my expectations, and I cannot highly recommend it enough. I feel like it does all of the things that the KVD Good Apple Balm does, but it does it better and it's lighter. You know what I'm saying? If you tried it, then that probably makes sense to you, because that is like my holy grail. I love that, but I think this might surpass it. I hope that the camera is showing you guys like how freaking beautiful this just looks on my skin. Like, it just, I'm just like, I've been raving about it, and I'm like, I feel like even though I'm raving about it, I cannot even do the product any justice. Like, when you try it, like, you'll know, you'll immediately be like, oh my God, because that was me. I was like, freaking gasp. But it looks beautiful. It wears beautifully. It is just so freaking comfortable. I cannot highly recommend this enough. Like, this is probably gonna be one of the top products I tried in 2024. It is just absolutely incredible. Just so you guys know, I have combo to dry skin, and especially now that we're getting into wintertime, I can already feel that my skin is getting much drier. This does not cling to any patches or start to feel like, I don't know if you guys have ever tried a foundation where you're using it and like as it wears through the day, it almost becomes like itchy and uncomfortable on your skin because it's just like, oh, I have to get this makeup off. This does not do that. So I don't know. If you're checking it out, I would highly recommend that you give it a go. So I'm hoping that my lighting in general is better today, because I watched back my last video and it was like so warm, but I don't know why, because my settings are all the way over on cool, so I have no idea. But anyways, the next product is not necessarily new, but it is new to me. It is the Tower 28 Serum Concealer. I have the shade DTLA, which I believe is shade 4. Let me just, this is what the applicator looks like. It reminds me of like an OG lip gloss applicator, which I don't mean in a bad way. I think it actually spreads the product super nicely, which I really, really love. I think that the shade that I have is really great for my skin tone. I have been testing this now for a couple weeks, and I do have my thoughts. And I think that if you're someone who enjoys a medium coverage concealer, I think you will be obsessed with this, like many, many people have been. But I think if you're someone who enjoys something a little bit more full coverage, you're probably going to be a bit disappointed with the concealer, or at least that's where I'm at with it. I like a full coverage concealer like the Natasha High Glam. And while this seems to do a pretty good job, and like, it definitely doesn't feel as heavy as the Natasha one. It feels much lighter, much more comfortable. It does not crease throughout the day. Just using the Huda Beauty powder to go through and powder everything while I chat. But it does not really crease throughout the day. I will say that. It is like fairly crease proof, which is like very impressive to me. The only thing is that like it doesn't hold that medium coverage for me personally. Usually by hour like 5 or 6, I can start to see some of my darkness coming through on my under eyes, which like obviously I don't want that. That's why I'm wearing, you know, concealer and corrector and whatnot. So for me, it's it's kind of a mess in the coverage and longevity department, but I can definitely see a lot of people like why a lot of people do love it. I don't know. I feel like these days I'm one of the last girlies that love full coverage left. I feel like so many people are in the era of still like, you know, no makeup and all like a bare face and all that, and I'm just not there. I'm like, nope, I want a full beat. I want a full coverage beat. Like if I'm wearing makeup, like I'm wearing makeup. So I feel like so many people would love this concealer, and I understand why so many people do love this concealer. But for me, it's just not full coverage enough or long lasting in its coverage. So hopefully that helps somebody if you've been eyeing this or wanting to try it and we have similar or different preferences. I just hope that the feedback helps you to make your decision of like, oh, that is something I would like, or no, I don't think I would like that. Because I went back and forth about purchasing this because I was worried about the coverage. And unfortunately, I just don't think that the coverage is what I would like it to be. Now, I don't have any new bronzer, so I'm going to pop off Bronzer Face and then I'll be back. Okay, so the next new product is actually from Milk Makeup. And this is one of their Cooling Jelly, let's see, Tint Stain Blushes. You might be thinking, oh, this is not new. Well, the shade is new. And it is the shade Fresh. The formula is new to me, and the shade is new to the brand. I have used this a handful of times now, and I will tell you, I was terrified the first time because I've seen a lot of polarizing reviews, and it is very different, so I was very nervous about it, especially because a lot of the people liking it were people who, back to that, really enjoy a no makeup. So I'm like, how is this stain going to apply over a full coverage base? I was very like, you know? So what I do to apply it is I just take a blush brush, and this is the, what's that say there? 96, the 96 blush brush from Sephora. Sephora has really good brushes. I don't think I've ever talked about that, but they have good brushes. And during the savings event, Sephora collection is always 30% off, so you can get a good deal on them. But I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna just tap the top to kind of lightly coat my brush here. And then I'm gonna go in with it on the cheek. And this is not typically a color I would pair with this eye look because it's all feeling a little bit louder than I typically do. And I will say these jelly blushes are more pigmented than I anticipated them being. So I do just go in with a very light hand because you can always build them up. They do build up. But, you know, once it's on your cheek, it is harder to pull away that pigment. So I just go in with a really light hand and work it up to where I want it to be. Another thing I will mention is when I initially apply this, it does look a bit like textured or like it's sitting on the skin, but don't let that scare you because as it, oh my God, a little bit too much right there. As it settles down onto the skin and the skin warms up to the product, it really just melts into the skin nicely. It just needs a second to do its thing, in my opinion. So give it a minute and it'll do it. Now, as far as staining goes, on your bare skin, this leaves a very intense stain. I swatched it, and I'll actually swatch it for you guys again, and I was glad I swatched it because this is much brighter than I anticipated. This is the swatch. And I was like, oh my, I'm glad I swatched it because this was described as like a muted pink, I believe. And when I swatched it, I was like, woo-wee. She ain't muted. Who said that, you know? So I was glad I swatched it. And when you take the swatch off, there is a very substantial, obvious stain on the skin. However, when you apply it over a full coverage base like I did today, I don't have any staining. Like when I use my makeup remover and all that stuff, I won't have any staining at the end of the night. Like, see, that was on for what? I don't know, 30 seconds. And I already have like a pretty intense stain. So I would just, you know, be mindful of that if you're someone who doesn't wear any foundation and you just put base products over the natural skin, you're probably going to see pretty significant staining. So just an FYI there. I will say overall, since I have been testing this product for a while now, I do really like this. I was very pleasantly surprised. I didn't think I would like it. I was really unsure what to expect, but wow, I have been like, oh, okay, I can kind of see the hype now. Whereas before, I just couldn't get past all the little kids that were eating it to, you know, actually think about like, oh, would I want to purchase this? Because that's all I could think about was little kids eating it. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys even saw that, but that was like all the rave with it. It was crazy. Now, the next product isn't like super new, but it is newer. And I chatted about it before, I think, in a speed reviews. But it is the Natasha Denona Hygiene Highlighter. And this one is the shade 1. So beautiful. I should have been swatching all this stuff for you guys. Sorry about that, but I just thought about it earlier. This is a very, it leans more icy in my opinion, but look at that texture. Oh my goodness. I have shade 2 as well. Okay, I had shade 2 as well, so I wanted to show you guys so you could see if you were thinking about picking it up. This is shade 2, and this over here is shade 1. Look at this texture. Oh my God, it is just so like satin and beautiful, and it maintains that on the skin. This is going to be a top contender for my favorite blush in 2024, or blush, lol, highlighter, because it looks so gorgeous, like skin-like. It just truly melts in and gives that really nice, beautiful shine to it. I am just so impressed. When I saw the marketing, I was like, no way it looks that like good on the skin. But it does. I think it is absolutely stunning. Like I said, top contender for the best highlighter I have tried this year. It just looks so yummy and juicy on the skin. And as it like wears throughout the day to like really melt into your natural oils and whatnot, it just continues to like glow. It doesn't get greasy or sweaty. It just continues to get very like, just like very skin-like. I feel like it just enhances your natural skin in the absolute best way. It is so stinking beautiful. Next up, I'm trying to think here. I'm gonna do some final touches and then I'm gonna come back to try out the other pop shot that we have from Charlotte Tilbury and talk about one other product. So I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so now for like a final touch, I'm gonna go into my other pop shot from Charlotte Tilbury. This one is in the shade Diamond Eyes. And I'm just going to pop that on my inner corner area just to bring a little bit of light and sparkle to the inner corner. And I did go ahead and swatch both shades out on the back of my hand. And I'll show you guys here in just a sec. Oh yeah. I think that ended up being the perfect touch. Because I find sometimes with blues, it can get a little, you know, dark. So I feel like this is perfect. Brings back a lot of lightness to the eye look. And then this is both shades swatched out. This is Diamond Eyes right here. And then this is Cosmic Rock, which, my goodness, these are so stunning. Yeah, so happy I picked them up so far. I will definitely have to let you guys know in the description how they held up. I'm hoping that we're not going to see any kind of creasing or anything like that, because that would be very disappointing. And then the last product I just wanted to talk about, even though I don't really feel like it has a place in today's look and I don't want to overdo it because I'm really loving how the look is. But I really just wanted to mention the new Half Magic Sparkle Eye Crayons. I have the shade the Dreamies, which is purple. And this is stunning. I'm going to swatch it right here. So beautiful. I have been wearing this so much with a neutral eye look. And then this shade on the inner corner. It just is the most beautiful pop. They are so sparkly. They are so long lasting on the lid. I have truly been so impressed by them. I actually will have a photo inserted of the last look I did using these so you guys can see just how stunning they are. But like truly wowed. All right, I just decided to take out my little clippy since I'm just yapping now. But that is all for testing new makeup. If you guys enjoyed this video and you would want to see more videos like this of me demoing products out, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments, just so that I know you did like this video concept. I personally really enjoyed this, being able to talk about not only first impressions of items, but demoing and giving you a full review of some of the items as well that I've tried. I thought it was fun to really just showcase, this is how it looks on the skin, this is what it looks like swatched out. So I enjoyed the concept. If you guys did, let me know. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe before you go. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.